all I do is music. I fell in love with music at a very early age and have been able to figure out ways to make music my life and also my livelihood, which is very, very cool. This is a typical Monday at Music Mania Studio. I recorded all weekend, and now I am doing some rough mixes to give some bands this week and for myself to listen to in every stereo I can. And one of my drum students, Ethan Janicello, his band came in Friday night and did one song and demoed a couple more. And I'm also going to be working on some mixes probably tonight when I get home for Monroe, a band that came in Saturday and did one song. So I'm staying busy. All these bands, you know, I set an hourly rate, but if a band has a budget that, you know, hey, most bands, they've got this much money, they want to do this many songs, and then I try to work with that. Alright, so it's 11:42 on a Monday night, and I am listening to one mix of Live Wire and Outside the Practice Room of Jonah Season Color, who is one of my recent bands I've been recording, and also the first band that's going to be signed to our record label, and they'll have the first release put out. So this is what I do. I was inspired to become a musician at a very young age. My father and my uncle both played music professionally. I was around band practices probably as early as 4 years old. Got into my first rock and roll clubs at 5 and 6 years old with my uncle and with my dad, and just felt, you know, an energy there that I was just always very attracted to. Just being around musicians and music. And then by the age of 12, you know, I had decided that I really wanted to start playing, and so I got a drum set, and that's been my main instrument for 21 years. Specifically, what inspired me to become involved in recording was going to record with a guy named Jamie King, and it was in his parents' basement. He had been recording for probably 10 years at the time, and really, you know, knew Pro Tools inside and out, and really knew his studio inside and out. And he taught me that, you know, although we all hope to have super nice studios one day, it's really, you know, at first anyway, it's really more just about learning how to use the equipment and learning the space that you're dealing with, figuring out how to make that space sound good. My recent work has been very, very cool. I've been exposed to a lot of different styles of music, a lot of different personalities, and I think that's the thing that makes what I do really special, is that I get to be involved with very creative people, and I get to be a part of the puzzle. I get to help them craft their songs. I'm playing a big part in their music, and I have some bands that come in and just really, you know, knock it out and know what they want, but most of the time, and you know, because I'm working with a lot of younger bands, I'm really helping mold how they're gonna write songs, how they're gonna approach studio recording, how they're gonna approach, you know, pulling it off live. So I think that's what's special, is I basically get to be a mentor, and I get to be the studio guy that I wish, you know, I had gone to when I was younger. I went to a lot of studios, and you know, I learned something at all of them, but sometimes, unfortunately, the thing I learned was that, you know, they cared more about making money than making music. It's very tricky. I try to plan for the bands that are coming in or what I'm going to be doing that day. The guy coming in to do vocals, I usually try to have the project open, have the mic set up and checked, have headphone volumes ready, all before they get here, so as soon as they get here we can get to it, or if nothing else we can hang out for a little while and kind of get a good vibe going, and then be ready to record as soon as we feel like it, as opposed to being ready to record and then having to spend another half an hour getting everything set up. And and also a lot of studios charge for that, and I don't. I try to be prepared when the band comes in so that we can be tracking as soon as feasibly possible when I'm happy with the sounds I have going in. It is a combination of a 75 Precision bass, Fender Precision, that my dad bought in the late 70s and played professionally for 20-some years. And it's really cool having my dad's bass that I know has played thousands of shows in my basement. And also I have a 1969 SVT rig. The cabinet and the head match. They were bought also by my dad about 15 years ago from my brother, and that's been his practice rig in this basement ever since we came here. And he is very gracious and lets me use that equipment, and most bass players that come in here they're welcome to bring their own stuff, but 9 times out of 10 they end up playing at least some part of that rig, if not the whole thing. And I really enjoy being able to make music on something that has a little bit of history to it. My hours can vary from not being in the studio at all for a couple days to being here for all weekend. Could easily spend 30 hours in here on a weekend, no problem, and that does happen. So I don't really have an average day. It depends on what I need to do, how many projects I have to either mix or finish tracking, and a lot of times it's just a couple hours here and there with different people finishing up projects when I can fit it into my schedule and they can fit it into their schedule. My best memories of the studio are ongoing. Every weekend that I get to record, I'm making my new best memories. So I really have been excited lately to record a wide variety of bands. And after working with Joan Season Color for about 3 months on their project, it was nice to get that wrapped up and start on some new stuff. And a few of the bands I haven't heard until they came into the studio, so it's always exciting when you don't know what to expect, and then you're pleasantly surprised, which makes working on the music that much cooler. My dream collaboration would be with John Feldmann. He is a very, very popular producer. He takes chances with younger bands and has really made some good choices. He started out in a punk band and worked his way up and got major deals. It's really his work ethic is what I enjoy the most about his story, is he's just always done above and beyond. I mean, his band has the Guinness Book of World Records record for the most shows in a year at 385. So somebody that's going to go out and work that hard, and then once he decided to put it in the studio setting, he went straight to the top. So I would love to collaborate with John Feldmann, and I think we could really do some cool stuff together.